Bracketology is out, still projected as a number 1 seed. Coach Josh Pastner, you have said that they are deserving of the number 1 overall seed. Do you still hold that opinion?
Yeah, and we talked about it last week. Whether they're the number 1 overall, or it doesn't matter, because they're going to their first 2 games will be in Indianapolis, which will be a home game for them basically, and they get those 2 games. Then they move on to Detroit, which will be, again, a home court advantage for them before they get to Glendale, Arizona. I still think the 2 teams, them and UConn, are the 2 best teams in the country. I see there's no way Purdue's not getting to Glendale when it's all said and done.
So perhaps maybe more importantly now for Purdue and for Zach Edey is that this is it. This is the last run to kind of add to that legacy that he's had so far.
And we're entering March. This is where legends are made. Well, he's already minted, Zach Edey. He's probably going to be back-to-back National Player of the Year. He's going to have his chance, at least their position right now, to win their 2nd straight Big Ten championship. But March is March. Careers collegiately have turned into big-time contracts professionally with what you've done there. That's not what I'm talking about, the legacy here with Zach Edey. To me, with Zach Edey, it's about, look, you've had one of the all-time careers. That's already going to be celebrated, young man. If it ends tomorrow, wow, what a career. But when you look at the chance that he has in front of him, I truly believe if Zach Edey can get that national title, can do what Virginia did, losing to the 16, turning around and doing it the next year and win the championship. The reason he came back, to go do that, you then start looking at Zach Edey as a top 5, top 10 collegiate basketball player of all time. Of all time. So when you're at that level, it's rare air. There needs to be agreed to him, and he's team-driven, but to think, I could be one of the all-time special ones that you talk about collegiately if they can get that national championship. So to me, nothing else really matters right now, and Coach Painter's going to hate I'm saying that. Nothing else matters right now to me but what they do come NCAA tournament at this point.
Well, and I think, just real quickly, I think to echo your statement, I think everybody, Purdue feels that, the fans feel that, Coach Painter feels that, and so does Zach. I don't think there's anything but, as great it is to win a Big Ten championship based on them losing the 16 seed last year, they've got to get to Glendale.
And he's not a failure.
No.
Look,
he's had an incredible
career. If he stops today, wow, young man, you've done things nobody could ever dream of. But if you can add that part, he's in a rare air where when you talk about college basketball, you got to throw his name in the legacy he's left in West Lafayette.
Pretty much locked in for Purdue and his team as a number 1 seed. Illinois, NBC Sports has him as a number 4 seed right now. Michigan State is where it gets a little dicey here and interesting because they're coming off a couple of bad losses. You guys had them with a loss at home against Iowa and then final seconds at home Sunday against Ohio State. Dale Bonner, and game over.
The only thing I can say on that final play right there, Michigan State was picking up full court, and it allowed Ohio State to get a full head of steam on that shot. Maybe if they picked up more in the half and just kind of contained and kept guys in front, he wouldn't have gotten that deep. Now, look, it was good defense, better offense, but they weren't, because of the pressure, it allowed him to get a full head of steam coming down to that for that shot.
So we still have him as an 8 seed. And, Jordan, your professional reputation lies with Michigan State because it was show number 1. You said, I think they're one of the best teams in the country with a chance at winning the national championship.
Yeah, if I was in better shape, I would have headed to the exit before he came back.
You're not bailing on him now.
Well, look, I'm one of many that have been fooled because you could very confidently say Michigan State's been the most disappointing team in college basketball this season with what they've returned, with what they have. I think lacking that true, consistent inside presence has hurt them. Shot selection has hurt them. Engagement in terms of competing. They lack a physicality you typically see with Coach Izzo's teams. And when you talk about pressure, I don't know if there's a team with more pressure on them besides the teams that are at the 1 slot and 1 seeded than Michigan State because of the guy on the sidelines, who is college basketball. 25 years consecutively, Izzo's made the tournament. This group was a Final Four caliber team preseason. They better get to the tournament, and they've got some games in front of them. They could break this thing or make this thing.
That's what it is. Right Purdue, now. Northwestern, then at Indiana. I mean, those are not – the way Michigan State's playing right now, those could all give them trouble.
And they're in the tournament right now.
Right now, but they got to keep winning. And they, like you said, they get in. I mean, let's not even talk about the NCAA tournament. I mean, right now they're going to be playing on that second day. I mean, they're not going to get the double bye if based on that loss. And they lost 2 home games last week, and they were in contention for that double bye in the Big Ten tournament. So they're going to have to continue to win games. One thing about Coach Izzo's group and for his coaching has always been about consistency. The issue for this year's team with Michigan State is they have been inconsistent. They just have not been consistently good, and that's where Michigan State and Tom Izzo's teams for all those years what you could depend on and count on is the consistency, and they always gotten better. This team for this year right now, they've been up and down like a peak and valley, inconsistent, and that's why they're in the position they're in right now.
And I look at the old guys on that roster, and it's up to those guys to really put this thing together. Tyson, AJ, Malik. These guys have to say, look, we know what the season's been. Let's throw it away. We're entering March here. Yeah. Let's go on a run. Let's put ourselves in a great seeded spot. Forget making or not making the tournament. We're in. Let's get a better seed. And let's do what Tom Izzo does in March, which is wow people.
It's the puzzling thing with them. They do have veteran leadership, but for them to be up and down so much this season is certainly a head-scratcher. Wisconsin, we will see them here just minutes from now at Indiana. NBC Sports has them currently as a 5 seed. They got Indiana tonight, then you got Illinois, tough one coming up on Saturday. What ails Wisconsin, Jordan, and what do you hope to see from them if you're a Badger fan tonight?
For one, they haven't had a road win in about a month, so this is another opportunity to exercise a demon, if you will, with this group. Consistency from down low, you know, Wall and Crowd need to consistently be good down there, no question. Defensively, they've got to be better. They really struggle with athletic backcourts. It's not one tonight, so they should take care of business. Defensively, there's been inconsistencies, but you look at Maryland, only 6 assists. That speaks to a group that is not kind of in their rhythm offensively. They need to get back there, but it all starts to me, Coach, with defense.
Yeah, now the first time these two teams played, it was 91-79. Most points that Indiana had scored in Big Ten play and the best they've shot all year long was against Wisconsin. Neither coach was happy last time they played defensively, so both coaches, Wisconsin having a week off, their whole focus has been, we've got to be better defensively. Mike Woodson's talked about for this game, they got to be better defensively. We'll see how it is tonight.
Let's see how they handle turbulence.